with a fresh episode of The Weekend. I am Murtaza Solangi.
And I am Muhammad Ali.
We are here again to discuss what has happened this week and what's about to unfold. So where do we begin?
I think as we have set the tradition, we first try to analyze the most important international event, and then we also look at what's going on back home in Pakistan.
Interesting tidbit is that next Tuesday, the first debate between Kamala Harris and Trump will happen in Philadelphia.
Absolutely. And I think they're both warming up.
Yes.
And I look forward to a very intense and interesting debate. Any thoughts on that?
Well, so far, whatever I have seen in American media, Kamala Harris is on the rise. In some surveys, she has crossed Trump, and in some surveys, they are tied. But a lot depends on how they fare next Tuesday, 9 p.m. Eastern, when this debate happens.
A very interesting comment from Russian President Mr. Putin. He seems to approve of Kamala Harris this time.
Well, let's see. The times that are changing, we would see as the time passes by. But Americans are already apprehensive of Russian meddling in U.S. presidential elections.
Another aspect which I quickly want to discuss with you is the role of social media and its politicization. A lot is being discussed regarding the role of X and how it is involving itself in partisan politics. What's your thought on that?
Well, I just saw a couple of news items before I got in here. There was one in Atlantic showing it as a threat to democracy because Mr. Musk is not only owning X, but also the Starlink, the global satellite connection that provides internet as well. So it has been a potential threat. Many experts have said that. And also with countries that are facing a lot of crises like ours. I'm sure you saw the last press release of Corps Commanders Conference that also talked about protecting your cyberspace. So that's a clear and present danger to the world. Most experts have highlighted that. And in the era of artificial intelligence and voice cloning and fake news and propaganda, everything is possible.
But I think some observers are of the view that Mr. Elon Musk could be a potential candidate to become a cabinet member if Trump returns to White House.
I saw that news item too. But, that is like creating monopolies. That's against the very essence of democracies. I'm sure when if you look at U.S. laws, they have been discouraging monopolies that, newspapers and TV stations and radio stations going into few hands. That's concentration of power. You want deregulation of power to protect democracy. So I would see it as a threat, not an opportunity for democracy.
Let's move to Asia, and perhaps an organization which is attracting a lot of attention and interest in Asia, and some concern in the West, is Shanghai Cooperation Organization. And Pakistan is going to hold its summit next month, and the Chinese Prime Minister is going to visit Pakistan after 11 years. Islamabad has also invited Prime Minister Modi. What's your thought on that?
I think that was a very, very witty and a very good diplomatic move on the part of Pakistan.
Why is that?
Because it's a multilateral forum and you want to project to the world that we are not into mean and petty politics. When it comes to bilateral or multilateral relationship, we follow the norms. We are not an abnormal country. We are a self-confident country. Why would we single out Modi? It's not a bilateral organization. We both are members. Pakistan and India became full members of SCO at the same event.
But let me ask you a supplementary question on that note. What are the prospects, notwithstanding the intentions of Pakistan, of the Indian Prime Minister actually visiting Pakistan when their cricket team is reluctant to play in Pakistan?
I cannot rule out the possibility of Modi coming to Islamabad. He is capable of doing that. If you remember, when last time he came to Lahore, even their ambassador didn't know. They had to rush to Lahore to make it happen. So I'm not saying that he will come, but I'm not ruling that possibility out. Modi being Modi, he can do anything. He can say that, oh, he has other things to take care of. Just like last summit, he didn't go, oh, I'm busy in the parliament. There was nothing happening in parliament. So he may or he may not. You can't, rule out the possibility of Modi coming to Islamabad and, with, oh, look, here I am.
But I think from a Pakistani perspective, it's a win-win situation and a very smart initiative.
In both
because
ways.
If he shows up, it will be a diplomatic achievement of Pakistan.
Absolutely.
That we opened our hearts and we invited him. And he showed up.
It's Modi who has been running away.
Exactly. And if he doesn't show up...
He didn't go there.
Yes.
Next SCO summit would be in Beijing if he doesn't go there. So why did India join a multilateral forum that now it is shy of attending its high-level meetings?
Yes.
Just like SARC.
Yes. And if he doesn't show up, that will again not be a politically costly thing for Pakistan, because we invited him in good faith and he didn't come. So the onus is on him. And we
attended even Goa.
Yes.
We were willing to go to Delhi, but they turned into a virtual event in 2023, if you remember.
Absolutely. Brief analysis of very interesting developments afoot in Bangladesh. Their former Prime Minister seems to be facing a dilemma that it seems that India sees her as a political liability rather than an asset now. What's your thought on that?
I totally agree with you. There was an article in Strathia by a prominent journalist based in Dhaka who has laid out the entire details what has happened. So literally, once an asset has turned into a liability, when you put all your eggs in one basket, that's what happens. It has happened to us as well in the past, in reference to Afghanistan. So, the suave diplomatic move is to keep a diversified portfolio. A country should engage a country. A state should engage all interlocutors instead of putting, investing in just one political party or one individual. It doesn't pay off, and India has learned the hard way. Now, Ms. Hasina is literally in a virtual house arrest. And there's a mounting pressure by Bangladesh and, elsewhere. She can't go anywhere.
I think her passport was cancelled.
Yeah, both. Her diplomatic as well as ordinary passports.
What does that mean?
That it means she is now a stateless person. She can't fly unless she chooses to use Indian passport. That would have a political cost as well. That would only prove that she is is a lackey of India.
But you must have noticed the significant increase in Indian hostility on a number of issues towards Bangladesh immediately post Hasina's departure.
But I think
the water issue, the denial of visas, the allegations about Hindus being persecuted, and more recently, some economic problems as well. And I was recently hearing some allegations that Bangladesh is moving towards more extremist ideas because India is worried that Jamaat Islami is no longer a banned organization there.
But the West is not buying this. Even the traditional allies of India are not buying this. Earlier, India had actually pressurized Washington to go easy on Sheikh Hasina. But, that didn't
So that's
pay off.
very important point. I want you to briefly expand on that. That India considers itself as the pivot of the US Indo-Pacific strategy. And on Bangladesh, if New Delhi and Washington cannot see each other eye to eye, what does that mean?
Well, there's a clear conflict of...
So that means that Washington has some other interests or agenda towards Bangladesh which does not reconcile with that of India.
I think what US position was that you should not allow this one-party state in Bangladesh. It will have negative effects, has proved to be correct. And I think the West, United States and Europe, they cannot renege on the values of democracy. If they do so, they will only hurt themselves. So I think they have proved to be correct. And probably India is trying to do some kind of course correction because Friday, the news is that Dr. Yunus will meet Modi. And the very fact that they have put Hasina incommunicado, and she's not now coming out and releasing statements, etc. That shows that there is a thought process in the South Bloc in Delhi trying to reassess because it has hurt India more than helped them by siding with Hasina.
Now let's come back home. What's going on in Islamabad? Should we expect Islamabad to be invaded once more and besieged?
Not at all. You are probably referring to Sunday PTI rally. PTI is a registered political party. They have representation in the federal National Assembly as well as Senate. They have a provincial government. They have representation in Punjab. So if they want to hold a rally without disturbing the peace and tranquility of the people of Islamabad, so be it. It would only prove that it's not a party that's dependent on Mr. Khan. Even without Khan, it's a political party. We should accept that reality.
So what is the purpose of this rally? I mean, what are the demands that they sort of want to raise through this rally?
It would be just a tough talk,
or a show of force.
A rhetoric. But, they are not going to prove something that's not proved already. It is a political party. It's a reality. They have a provincial government. They have a representation in the federal system. They are part of the system. They are not out of the system. Nobody has pushed them out of the system. However, if some of their members, including their founder, Mr. Khan, if they are involved in some criminal cases, the law should take its course. Nobody has done -1 on them except themselves.
But do you think this political strategy of doing politics both in the parliament and on the street has worked for PTI?
We will see. So far, their constant cancellation and postponement of rallies has hurt them. So they will probably try to gain some kind of news value. But how long will that news survive in the fast developing Pakistan's news cycle? 24 hours? That's about it. What they can prove is already proven. There's nothing new that they will prove. They'll prove that, so many thousand people gathered in their rally that has been heavily sponsored and organized and supported by a provincial government using their resources. How will that help them?
Can you relate this sort of growing concern within PTI ranks with the recent press statement by the spokesperson of Pakistani Armed Forces? I have noticed in the last 4 press statements, the clarity and confidence with which the allegations regarding the former DGISI, Lieutenant General Faiz Hameed, seem to be becoming more confident and more clear. This time, there was a very clear emphasis that anybody who uses his position or influence for personal gain or to promote a political agenda will not be forgiven. What does that mean?
The press conference by DGISPR on Thursday also made it clear that the possibility of military trial of Mr. Khan cannot be ruled out. When he said that if somebody uses their influence with or collaborates with people who are under Army Act, then the law would take its course. That's a clear hint. But we have yet to see. What is clear is that former DGISI, General Faiz Hameed, his goose seems to be cooked.
So how should a PTI member read this? Do you think, is there a relation between the 8th September rally and this statement?
Well, let's wait for that trial to be completed. And let's see if Mr. Khan is declared co-accused in this case. In that case, ISPR had said that while the military trial of Faiz Hameed would be in camera, would not be open, but in case if Mr. Khan is also tried, they will try to make it as open as possible so people know that what he has done. So we have yet to, see how it goes through.
But when you notice and track the reactions from PTI ranks after Pakistan Army formally announced that the Field General Court Martial of Lieutenant General Faiz Hameed has begun, I could notice 3 confusing and contradictory reactions. First, he was described as an asset by Mr. Khan. Second afterthought was that this is an internal matter of army. And now there's a complete absence that nobody seems to be interested in protecting or helping or praising or appreciating their former asset. Why is that? Are they trying to distance themselves from General Faiz in order to save themselves from being implicated?
Not only they are trying to distance, but they're trying to protect themselves from the fallout. If more details come out showing the involvement of the former spy chief, not only with related to May 9, but also other acts which were aimed at destabilizing Pakistan and creating mutiny. So there are a lot of leaks coming out by vloggers these days, but we have to hold our breath and wait to see what actual details come out and what crimes is he convicted of.
Last topic I want to discuss with you is a recent news which emerged yesterday regarding amendment in the Anti-Terrorist Act 1997. What does that mean?
Well, if anybody has a doubt that there's an extraordinary situation in Balochistan, a state of insurgency that peaked on August 26, then, everybody knows what we are going through. Extraordinary conditions warrant extraordinary measures. Many politicians have been saying that there's a state of mass disappearance of people in Balochistan. People go through enforced disappearances. Now, when they are coming up with some extraordinary laws where they could detain a suspect and try some people under those extraordinary measures, then there would be another sort of criticism. But we have yet to see the exact blueprint of the law. Whatever I have gathered from the news is that it would have a sunset clause, so it will not be forever. But I think a situation in Balochistan does require that law enforcement agencies should have special powers to suppress insurgency.
But the federal law minister announced recently, you would recall, an incentive, a sort of a relief package worth a few million rupees for the family relatives of those who are believed to be disappeared. I don't think it has received as much attention and appreciation that it deserves.
Not only that, but there are other set of actions also in play. If you remember, a delegation of PTI legislators met Speaker National Assembly. I was reading a news about former Chairman Senator Raza Rabbani also suggesting. So it's not just the coercive means, but the way the resignation of Ataollah's son, Akhtar Jan Mengal, was rejected. So it's not just the kinetic and coercive laws, but other set of actions are also in play. And let's see in totality what they lead to.
Mr. Murtaza Solangi, thank you so much for joining us again for another very comprehensive and insightful analysis of some of the major developments around the world and this part of the world as well. Thank you so much.
See you next week.
See you.